The idea of a peace garden is where people who are in deep sorrow, and when you lose a very close relative, there isn't anything in this world that can help. But here we have a peace garden, which is so close to nature and so close to God. We call it the nearest place to heaven, because here the relief from the grief is here. And you can have your own, and when you've looked around this, you can have your own personal inscription, memorial, you can scatter ashes, and you can be at peace with the spirit of your departed, because I firmly believe that we are guided by people who know us, who love us, who have passed before us, and even people who passed before us 500, 600 years ago are looking to where to deposit their wisdom, their marvels in their mind. I believe that this is where we gain our... Why do we suddenly think, why do we gain inspiration? We don't know. We don't know that we've been helped from the Spirit. Me, being born and bred Catholic, I believe in the Holy Spirit. And the Holy Spirit is above all spirits. I don't Bible thump, I don't Jesus preach. I just show people how my life has been and what's brought me to arrive at this wonderful, wonderful time. Halfway between birth and death, we start a new life. With all that wisdom behind us, we now can help many others. And this peace garden is built by young thugs as they call them. They've converted them with greenery, with fish, with happiness, with the birds, with the butterflies. With a peace garden, they're converting young people to live a new, wonderful life. So, it's just got everything. Just go and follow me. Just come and follow me. See some of these wonderful things. Rudyard Kipling wrote this wonderful poem, poetry and everything else, and I've converted it a little bit. It's called If. If you can dream and not make dreams your master. And you then follow through. You follow through because you're looking for the next sign, and if you can think and not make thoughts your aim. And you walk on, you've got birds twittering. If you can wait and not be bored by waiting, each inscription bears a name of someone who's passed before who helped. If you can keep your heart head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you. Take in Frank Mason with the librarians of Wolverhampton. As such a peaceful, beautiful man who looked after the town and its thoughts in library, in reading. These are things we need to bring back. I'll go through that. If you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two impostors just the same, they are both the same. The magnificence of triumph, the defeat of disaster, they are both the same. They can't alter our life. We still continue the same path. Mustn't take you down. Winston Churchill was the man who showed us all. Here's where your strength comes. If you are being hated, do not give way to hate. Old Ben Homer, if you are being lied about, don't deal in lies. Simple. And Violet Chalice Adamson, if you don't look too cold, nor talk too wise, if neither foes nor loving friends can hurt you, ivy sprinkles. And Bird King, great Bird King, if all men count with you, but not too much, Nora, great Nora Alton, if you can fill the unforgiving minute with 60 seconds worth of distance run. And Irene Northall from Wordsley, if you can talk with the crowds and keep your virtue, or walk with kings, nor lose the common touch. That is good. And the great Vera Beck from Ruisley lived to the grand old age of 99 and said, Billy, I can't come to see you. Come and collect this bit of money I've collected for you. She did a bit of collecting. If you are for the animals, then you ought to mount, my son. And that's a little bit of conversion from the great Rudyard Kipling. And in the beginning, there was the Garden of Eden. And we hope that we have created the nearest place to heaven here. And we had all of the animals come to the earth, flying, walking, great and large. And we had mankind come to put on the earth to look after the animals' welfare. And if we look after the animals will look after us. And then we start a life. And that is the Old Testament. And inside here is a lot more of the Old Testament, which I don't understand, because it's such a lot of killing your son, offering your son in sacrifice. These things are difficult to understand. I can't understand it. But now we come on to the life of Christianity. Is an occasion to demonstrate your character, Marjorie Turton. And here an angel visited Mary, just a simple lady in Nazareth, and the child was born, and for unknown reasons a star shone, and men came from all corners of the known earth to bring gifts hailing the child, something different. We don't know. We read the history. We believe. We believe in the life of a man who was always good. But in that time, we are told King Herod didn't like the fact that somebody else might be called a king, so he ordered all babies to be slaughtered. Terrible things in those days. Happening today. But then the lady, our lady, had to flee from Egypt with the baby. And we are told the story that Jesus as a boy was talking like a man. Now today we do see geniuses. We do see genius children who can pass A levels at 6, 7 years old, learn to play the piano from birth. So why should not Jesus have been born with all those wonderful gifts of an older man, of the wisdom? Because we see it today. So these things we can believe in the life of Jesus, who set out on a mission to give back to the world. And that's more of the story than problems we do read. And I believe when he was 21, Jesus was baptized by John the Baptist, who, taken up the name, so we hear the story and we believe it. People got baptized and then it became baptism of Christianity. But John the Baptist was a baptizer, meaning you dipped into water and you cleansed yourself of your sins or your problems, and you believed in something, which you believed in a garden. This is what the garden is. And Jesus was a fisherman, worked with the fishermen, because fishermen were simple people, quiet, hard-working, God-fearing, and happy in their work. So he mixed with the people who didn't want materialism. And materialism is the thing that we should not have too much of. and on his mission of peace. We hear stories that he raised people from the dead. Well, things do get a bit stretched, and the story was built out of a story, so we don't really know, do we, if it was true, if Jesus could raise people from the dead. But then again, there's nothing better than positive thought. If there's still life there, rub somebody in the right direction, brighten them up. And I'll tell a story at the end of this, where in our lifetime we have experienced somebody coming out of a deep coma, just woke up from weeks and weeks of sleep and started to cry because he was told he couldn't come back home to Wolverhampton. And he was locked in a Manchester hospital in a coma. He dropped it, and he happened to be Derek Dugan's son. And this is a wonderful story we'll tell later on. He's alive and he's happy. He had a terrible tragedy befall him, went into a coma, in a coma for weeks and weeks and weeks. Tried to move him from Manchester hospital to Wolverhampton. Wolverhampton didn't want him. The surgeon said, sorry, but Wolverhampton doesn't want him. Burst out crying. Life had come back for his hometown, Wolverhampton. He was born here. So we're pretty strong. Was our man on the radios. He kept shouting, "Come in, Billy, Reuben here." Hello. We continue the story of Jesus when he rode into the city on a donkey. The people loved him. He'd done so much good work. He'd given so much hope, fantastic hope. That's what he'd given. And kings get jealous. They didn't like him. So they decided to prove that he wasn't a king, they say. And this is Florence Hood. She lived in Tamworth, and she took in 100 cats, and she sent me 100 cats. Everyone who does something for charity comes here, gets their name remembered, because it's a way of me remembering them with a little saying that's so good for people in sadness. And we went on to Jesus feeding the multitude. How did he do it? 5 loaves and 2 fishes. Fed the multitude. Probably all had a little tiny bit. That's what he does, sharing it out. And here we had the story where Jesus walked on water, and he called John to believe. If you do believe, you can walk on water. He took 2 or 3 steps, and then he sank. Well, again, a wonderful story of a story, on a story of someone who had pure belief. We hear of yogic flying, we hear of people putting so much time into their life, they can lift. It's a very, very strong feeling. His uncle Derek Williams, he wanted all his life to be remembered for his work with the animals. So we wrote this little piece. God was so busy running around naming all the creatures in the flora as they sprang to life. As he rested on the 7th day, he spotted a little companion that had stayed on his heels all day. He thought for a while and he said, "What am I going to call you?" "Oh, God," he says, "you're so close to me. That's your name. But you can't be called God. You can be called dog." Reverse it. Wonderful story. Jesus collected his disciples together, and he collected them from fishermen. People who wanted to hear him, wanted to believe in him, wanted to help spread his mission, his work. So he was expanding, teaching good men to go out and teach peace. That's what we're trying to teach. I believe if we treat hooligans, kids, with a bit of respect, bring them here to the garden, we're going to build a nation. And we're going to do it all across the world, because this wonderful thing will spread. Wonders of the world do spread. And this is a wonder of the world. Other people will. I have so many people to remember. We can feel them in the spirit, and I truly believe that my inspirations come from people who have passed on, come back, reconnected. Give them somewhere to come back. And we'll meet later on. One of my greatest, or one of my 2 or 3 greatest helpers, still with me. And I didn't believe it when they were alive, but they're there now, today. We sit here where Jesus had to face, he knew he was facing death. Now then, I believe